So this is going to be the introduction to statics. Statics being an engineering topic that talks about the amount of stress that can be placed on supports, and it also incorporates some use of vectors within the unit. This is a very, very basic approach to this engineering topic of statics. So the first thing I want to talk about is, how do you know which direction those forces are moving? And so we've got 4 scenarios. The first being what has been termed ground case 1. So these are rising from the ground and coming from opposite directions, and then in the middle some form of weight. What you've got to determine is, this being ground case 1, is, are those 2 supports working in the same direction, or would perhaps one of them being supporting in an upward direction as one is in support in a downward direction? And it's almost a common sense thing that you have to use, but in this case both of them are supporting in an upward direction, because if you can imagine, if either one of these were pulling in a downward direction, then it's going to cause the weight to also come down, so it's going to topple down. So both of these have to be pulling or pushing, supporting in an upward direction. Then we've got ground case 2, and the difference is that both of those supports are coming from the same side of the weight. Perhaps it's like a wrecking ball kind of thing, but both of these supports are coming from the same side of the weight. Now, when you look at this, you're thinking, what if both of them are supporting in an upward direction? Well, it seems like it's possible, but if you'll think about it and just picture it in your mind, if this one is supporting in an upward direction, it's going to actually cause this to tip over. And so it is not. It's almost like it's on a pulley system here, and this support closest to the weight is pushing in an upward direction, but this support has to be moving in a downward direction. So it looks a little bit like a pulley. Then we've got wall case 1. Wall case 1 is simply the fact that we've got supports coming off of a wall. This being our wall over here. And we're going to start with wall case 1, looking very similar to ground case 1, but of course the weight would be going off of the edge here. And so again, we're trying to figure out, would both of these be pushing in an upward direction, or are they working in opposite ways, where one is pushing in upward and one is pushing in downward direction? Well,
it would be pulling the weight downward. If this one were pulling or pushing downward, this direction, again, it would be pushing the weight downward. And so these 2 supports or forces have to be working together, and both of them are working in an upward direction. And then the 4th case that we will look at in this unit is wall case 2, which resembles ground case 2, only coming off of the wall.
and you've got to figure out, are both of these supports pushing upward, or do they have to be moving as one is pushing upward, the other one is pulling back? And it's very similar to the ground case too, in that the one closest to the weight is pushing in an upward direction, and it's like a pulley system here where the one furthest away is pulling back against the wall. So those are the 4 cases that we'll study in this unit.